What if I told you that somewhere in the universe, there could be another version of you living a completely different life? Maybe in one reality, you became a scientist, in another, you became a musician, and in another, you never existed at all. That sounds like science fiction, but this idea is not coming from movies alone. It comes from some of the strangest and most serious ideas in modern science. The question is simple: do parallel universes really exist? To answer that honestly, we first need to understand what people mean by parallel universes. It does not always mean an exact copy of Earth with small changes. In science, it usually refers to the idea that our universe may be just one of many universes. These other universes could have different starting points, different histories, and maybe even different laws of physics. Some versions of the idea come from quantum physics and some come from cosmology. None of them are fully proven, but they are serious enough that scientists still debate them. The most famous idea comes from quantum mechanics. At the tiniest level, particles do not behave like normal objects. They can exist in multiple possible states before we measure them. This is one of the weirdest things in physics. For example, a particle may seem to have more than one possible path, and only when we observe it do we get one result. That creates a huge question. What happened to the other possibilities? One answer is the many worlds interpretation. It says that all possible outcomes happen, but in different branches of reality. In one branch, one result occurs, and in another branch, a different result occurs. If this idea is true, then reality may split every time a quantum event happens. That would mean there are countless versions of the universe existing alongside ours. But here is the important part: this is not proven. It is an interpretation of quantum mechanics, not a confirmed fact. Now let's move to the universe itself. In cosmology, there is another possible route to parallel universes. After the Big Bang, the universe may have gone through a phase called inflation, when space expanded extremely fast. Some scientists think inflation may have created many separate bubble universes. In this idea, our universe is just one bubble in a much larger multiverse. Other bubbles may exist far beyond our reach, each with its own conditions and maybe even its own physics. This idea is especially interesting because it comes from real scientific models, not just imagination, but it has a major problem. If these other universes are too far away or completely disconnected from ours, then how do we prove they exist? Science needs evidence. A theory becomes stronger when it can be tested, and right now, direct proof of other universes is missing. Scientists have still tried to look for clues. One possibility is that if another universe once interacted with ours, it may have left marks in the cosmic microwave background. Researchers have searched for unusual patterns that might hint at such a collision. So far, nothing conclusive has been found. That does not mean the idea is false. It only means we do not have evidence yet. That is the real problem with parallel universes. The idea is serious, but it is also difficult to test. If something cannot be observed directly or indirectly, it becomes hard to separate science from speculation. That is why many scientists remain cautious. They do not reject the idea completely, but they also do not treat it as proven. Still, the reason people take it seriously is because it appears naturally in some of our best theories. Quantum mechanics is extremely successful, but it is also deeply strange. Cosmology explains the large-scale structure of the universe very well, but inflation may point to something bigger. String theory also opens the door to extra dimensions and many possible versions of reality. So the multiverse is not random fantasy, but a possible result of real physics. If parallel universes do exist, the consequences would be huge. It would mean reality is much larger than we imagined. It could mean there are versions of you making different choices. It could mean every possible outcome happens somewhere. It could even mean our universe is just one small part of a much bigger cosmic structure. That is a terrifying and exciting thought at the same time, but science must stay honest. Right now, the best answer is this: parallel universes might exist, but we do not have direct proof. The idea is supported by some theories, hinted at by some models, and seriously studied by scientists, but it is not confirmed. So the correct answer is not yes and not no. It is maybe, but we do not know yet. And that is what makes this question so powerful. The universe still has mysteries we have not solved,